Welcome back to PAULY'S Perspective. Today I'm talking about episode 8 of Peacemaker season 2, and what a dud episode. Like, they should have ended it with the last episode. Last episode was crazy. It was a great way to conclude things. Left you on the edge of your seat, like I wanted to see more. This episode 8 should have been the first episode of the next season. We were supposed to get cameos. James Gunn bigged it up like there's gonna be some big cameo. The fans are gonna lose their mind. None. Zero. The band that sings the song Foxy Shazam, great for the band, good tune. I don't care. I don't care if they're in Peacemaker. Give us someone we care about. I can't say it enough. Like, just when James Gunn was winning me over with how great the scripting was and the tone of the show and everything, he goes right back to these cheesy, cringy moments. I felt like I was watching the Superman movie again. I didn't like all of the cheesy cringiness in the Superman storyline. In fact, I didn't really like the Superman movie. I liked David Cornsweet as Superman, and I liked Nicholas Hoult as Lex, but there were still so many cringe moments. The Lois Lane group in the spaceship with the whole patting each other on the back. We've got the same bullshit at the end of this episode. Leota puts together the 11th Street Kids. They create their own agency. We knew that was coming, and we see everybody who's involved. You know how we see that? We see the typical cheesy, cringy ass slow motion walk towards the camera. Everybody patting each other's back, smiling at each other, half hugs, little noogies. This is so insulting to the viewer, I find. Look, I'm all for watching something within context of itself and just having fun with it. Really, I understand. He's trying to have fun with it. But these moments pull me out. They completely destroy suspension of disbelief. This show has so many random ass, very funny, very crude situations that happen. But moments like this cheapen all of even that. I know there are parts that are supposed to be kind of cheesy and that's why they're funny. He could have showed a different way, a more serious, still cool sequence of who's involved now in the Checkmate agency and who's part of the team. We got Judo Master in there. We got Tim Meadows and his character. And of course, everyone was so hyped about this. We thought we were going to see more. It's going to lead directly into Man of Tomorrow. It kind of does at the end. We understand that. They have this whole other salvation dimension now. We get it. It still just fell flat. It's already in the comment sections of my previous videos. So many people are disappointed with it, and it's just, that sucks. Been a good show, it's been a good ride, but we're right at the finish line at this season finale, and that's it. The cool thing about this is that it does open doors for what's going to happen next. Checkmate, Leota's agency, has now become them, so they can do what they want, whenever they want, and how they want to do it. We get it. And maybe the next series is a Checkmate series. He said that he's not doing another Peacemaker series, and we're going to see what happens to Chris, of course, now that he's stuck in that other dimension. Now, getting right to the meat and potatoes of what really happened, Rick Flag and Argus obviously stumble upon this dimension that they're calling Salvation. It's going to be a prison universe that they're going to banish any meta-human they want, and probably anybody they just don't like, to that dimension, which obviously raises a lot of questions and can get out of hand very quickly. The real motive behind this is that Lex was trying to find a dimension like this to banish Superman to, get rid of him entirely. It's a place that these people can't come back from. But in any comic, anytime it's said that they'll never be able to return, they'll never be able to get back, it's a sure bet that, of course, yes, they will. Now, this all leads into a bigger storyline called Salvation Run, a fairly recent comic book creation, part of the larger line-wide event Final Crisis. The basic premise of the story is that Rick Flag and Amanda Waller decide that Earth's supervillains are out of control, and they keep getting out of their respective prisons. So they decide to exile dozens, if not hundreds, of Earth's worst villains to this planet. Flag and Waller leave them there with no weapons and no tools for survival. Once they realize there's no way to escape, they split into factions. One is led by Lex Luthor, and the other is led by the Joker. Now things are getting interesting. This is what I hope James Gunn really gets right. It's a story that I'm not too familiar with, but it does sound pretty awesome, having Joker go against Lex Luthor. A lot of cool dynamics happening there. Here's the kicker about that and where things are really going to get juicy. From there, Luthor tries to create a portal to try to get them off-world. And not long after, they discover that their remote planet is actually a training grounds for Darkseid's forces. Or was I saying in my other videos, all of this somehow leads to Darkseid. Everybody keeps talking about Brainiac. We'll see if he comes from another universe or not. But right now, my biggest interest is in if and how this leads to Darkseid. Eventually, of course, the villains find their way off the planet and end up back at Earth. And it's just in time for this big Final Crisis crossover. James Gunn has specifically stated that that particular scene, the whole Salvation planet, that is directly linked and connected to what's going to happen in Man of Tomorrow. So obviously there's going to be some situation where either Superman does end up in Salvation Planet or Lex has got to help him get out of there. They both end up there. We'll see if all this hype goes somewhere worth watching and caring about. Because again, this whole episode just kind of makes me iffy about what James Gunn is going to do with these characters, with this whole story. Other things in this episode that, again, I don't really care about, but I guess they're essential to the story. Okay, Leota finally properly breaks up with her wife. She realizes, of course, she's been too selfish, blah, 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 the same old. So, like, okay, cool. That's done now. So now she can focus on just building Checkmate. And that's cool. Everybody's happy. Pointless character gone. But the whole point is that it's her story arc and how she comes to the revelation of what she needs to do to be successful and to make sure that it's something that she can feel whole about. We see Harcourt finally give in to her love for Chris. He asks her if it means something. Of course it meant something. We all know it's just a matter of time. And now they're together. They're in the crowd. They're all singing Foxy Shazam, the big cameo. And then she kisses. She doesn't know how she feels about it. Same old shit. Cool. And then, of course, it goes into the whole Checkmate sequence. Everybody's buddy again. Cool. Come here, you. Like... But there is one great scene that James Gunn says it's one of his favorite scenes where all of his friends, the 11th Street kids, are talking to Chris about what he means to them and trying to get him to realize his own importance. Now, that is cool. Of course, there's a integrity there that needed to be seen and is definitely crucial to the storyline. And I did appreciate that scene. Cena, you know, he's got a tear. Again, I thought his best acting was in the last episode when he has that scream, tell him to get off his brother. He doesn't want to see him die in front of him again. We're going to see his brother again somewhere down. Who cares? I don't care about Captain Triumph. This is a very, very candid video, everybody. This is just the truth. Okay, I've been trying to follow this series, and it's been, you know, promising in certain aspects, and that's coming off of Superman, which wasn't promising to me. Super promising to a lot of you. Cool. This is just something that, you know, now leaves me in a state of... Do I care? I want to show me someone I can. Let's get to like Bruce. I thought there was going to be a real cameo, someone like Bruce Wayne, maybe another nod. Give us a lantern or two. Because I don't care about Foxy Shazam. That's it. I don't really watch it. It ends the series. I get it. It's all it needs to be. You know, we'll see what happens next. Good old Man of Tomorrow coming next year. We'll see what cares about that. And then also, maybe that Lantern show is supposed to be decent. I also don't care about the Lanterns yet. I hope that they make me care. I hope I really give a shit. I'm a huge DC fan. I really, really am. And I was happy with where it was. And I love what Matt Reeves is doing with his Batman and Robert Pattinson. And I can't wait to see what happens there. That excites me more. But we'll see. The most looking forward to seeing The Brave and the Bold, of course. Tell us who the next guy is playing Batman, and I'm in. That's what I want to see. He's going to be a more fantastical Batman, we know, but he said he's not going to be cheesy, he's not going to be funny. So there's going to be more of a serious tone, and I hope it's a little bit more R-rated like Peacemaker was. That's how it should be. Please, James, do not ruin it with this cringe. They cannot both exist. You do a great job at doing it in a lot of movies. You do find balance. I'll give you that. I'm a fan. But just these moments really deterred me from caring. After you made me care so much, and then it's like, oh, this is like the worst acting is them being friendly. That's what's funny about it. Maybe it's in the scripting, maybe it's in the delivery, maybe it's just the takes they chose to put in there in the edit. I don't know. Could have been better, I guess. But whatever. You're a billionaire, and I'm here doing videos. Anyways, that's been Paul's perspective. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave me a comment about what you thought about episode 8. How happy or disappointed were you with it? Where do you think it's going in Man of Tomorrow? And who do you want to see be the main villain there? Is it going to be Brainiac, Darkseid, or someone else that we're going to be forced to care about that we really don't care about? Please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. And like this video if you like this type of content. I appreciate you. Thanks for nerding out with me.